Say you can't afford an apartment in San Francisco? Well, how about co-creative housing? That's what the ads are calling it. You'll get a bunk bed and lots of company. But is it legal? KPIX5's Mark Kelly wasn't invited in. The only way to check it out was to go undercover.
Heidi's moving into her new digs. We asked her to go into this building in the heart of San Francisco's Mission District undercover to get an unbiased taste of a new kind of rental.
This is where I'm staying.
It's a bunk bed that she's sharing with a stranger.
I'll take the top bunk.
In a house with 30 other people. This Victorian behind me on South Van Ness Avenue doesn't have a marquee or any type of sign, but it is a hostel advertised on Airbnb. Heidi had to answer a questionnaire and do a Skype interview.
I think people move in really for the community part of it. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
She finally made the cut and paid $1,800 a month to be a part of a community called Vinyasa Homes Project. All right, so just walk me through.
There's a huge hallway. You walk in and you have rooms and bathrooms on the side. It's decorated nicely, you know, it looks clean.
The plus is a communal kitchen well stocked. And 3 bathrooms per floor, though Heidi found them not always spotless.
You still have those typical roommate issues, but times that times 30 because there's 30 people sharing a house.
The minuses, small bedrooms.
So the 4-person bunk room is pretty tight. I mean, it's small, like the bunk beds are backed up to each other.
Even Heidi's 2-person bunk room, she says, was tight.
It's not like I would sit in my room and hang out. There's a bunk bed and a desk, you know, and it's small.
Heidi told us most of the residents are in their 20s, from out of town, many from out of the country.
I think it's just one of those, I need to get to the city and this is going to be the first stop and then I'll find something else.
The tenants seem to be happy, but is it legal? Chief Housing Inspector Rosemary Bosky says bedrooms have to be 170 square feet to accommodate 4 adults. But she says her inspector can't go in to measure unless there's a complaint from inside. And so far, there hasn't been.
Whenever we do an inspection, it's a consensual inspection.
As for using the building for what appears to be a hostel,
that's really a policy matter that I would leave then to the board and to the planning department.
We do have a complaint, an active complaint on that property, which we are investigating.
But Scott Sanchez with the planning department says it's not that simple because the bunk beds are advertised on Airbnb with a 30-night minimum stay. They don't fall under the city's short-term rental ordinance.
So more than 30 days makes it residential?
Typically, yes.
Doesn't that sort of just fly in the face of our goal in San Francisco now, which is we have a dwindling housing supply. We need to fix that.
You're pointing out, you know, what could be an issue that needs to be addressed further, but at this point, the codes don't address that.
Legal or not, Heidi on the whole gives Vinyasa Homes a thumbs up.
Personally, for me, it's not really my cup of tea, but I could see how for other people who like that style of living, that it would work.
In San Francisco, Mark Kelly, KPIX 5.
$1,800 a month for a bunk bed. It's hard to imagine rent like that anywhere but San Francisco. The people sleeping in them are not complaining. In fact, they apparently like it. But only on 5 tonight, Mark Kelly says the real winner is the landlord.
We hadn't even heard that the building had sold.
Taryn Towers suspected it was bad news when Fergus O'Sullivan, a notorious San Francisco real estate speculator, became her new landlord last year.
And he said, here are the different ways I could evict you. I expect you to have you out very soon.
Most tenants took buyouts, but Taryn held out. It wasn't easy. The landlord, who also owns a construction company, embarked on a noisy remodel.
Backhoes, bobcat in the basement, and jackhammers and sledgehammers.
Then something interesting started to happen. Remodeled units started filling with lots of people. Turns out Taryn's building in the heart of San Francisco's Mission District had turned into a hostel for hipsters.
Over 6 months, there were probably 50 or 60 different people occupying those beds over time.
In an undercover visit, we found 30 people currently bunking together in 2 to 4 person shared rooms. It's apparently a new trend. We found dozens of similar rental offers on Airbnb. The planning department says these so-called hacker or co-living hostels are legal under the city's short-term rental law because guests have to stay 30 days or more. But neighbors who find themselves living next to one of these, not happy about it at all.
This is not being adequately regulated.
Attorney Mark Hushman has filed nuisance complaints on behalf of neighbors of several other similar establishments.
It disrupts tenants' lives. And so in one of our lawsuits, our client lived below a hacker home. He had bed bugs as a result, constant noise and difficulty.
But he says the business model is so lucrative, landlords are jumping on the bandwagon. Take Taryn's old apartment building. Right now, 3 units are rented out as hacker homes for $10,000 a month each. Once the other side of the property is remodeled, the landlord could be raking in $60,000 a month from one building alone. And we've learned Fergus O'Sullivan has filed similar floor plans for at least 3 more residential buildings he owns in the city.
Would we be able to talk to you about the rentals?
We wanted to talk to Fergus, but the only person we could locate was his brother with the construction side of the business.
Is your brother the main person to talk to? Is it you to get these answers? Is there a chance that maybe we could talk to you in the future and sit down with you and Fergus, or? No comment? We just want to talk to him for the news story. Is there a way to get a hold of him?
We never got a hold of Fergus, and Taryn's not surprised.
He's a cold character and he doesn't care about people at all. The only thing he cares about is money.
In San Francisco, Mark Kelly, KPIX 5.
And money is what finally persuaded Taryn to move. After almost a year of living in a construction zone, she finally took that buyout. She is currently homeless, house sitting for friends.